Hey, my beautiful people. Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing? Come on in. Come on in. Blessings for those that are joining, and this is your first time hearing me. I am Nekia Foxx from the Transformation Place, where I help amazing women and men transform from the inside out, right? Yes, we do. So listen here, you guys. I wanted to come on today to talk about, thank you guys for coming on in. Share this video on out so we can get, I'm trying to make sure I can get the right lighting. But listen here, share this video on out because I know someone is going to need these little words of encouragement. Do me that favor. So my website, let's go through the business. For those that are watching the replay, it's NekiaFoxx.com. So www.NekiaFoxx.com. Let's get to the ugly phase. Everyone wants to avoid the ugly phase, and it's out. You know, the other day I was riding and I was like, when I think about this thing, every single thing in life looks like it has a ugly phase, right? I was thinking about blessings, Pastor Robinson. Blessings, how are you doing? Blessings to you. I was thinking about when you're going through the growth phases of life. It's you're going through normally puberty stage. The young people go through, and that's like their ugly phase of life. But they cannot get to the next level without going through, you know, that breakouts and, you know, that whole voice getting scratchy and things getting a little, you know, weird. But it's a growing phase. Every single marriage or relationships goes through that ugly phase where you're literally trying to learn the person, and you're learning to work through the commitment phase of being able to say, listen here, I'm willing to, for good or bad, stick this thing on out. In business, there is a ugly phase where you are like, okay, I am investing all of my money and I'm not seeing the results instantly as I would like to. Let's go through another example with hair and going natural. Everybody dreads that. Let me do the big chop and chop this hair off, and I got to go through this ugly phase to grow it back out, right? That same element, the ugly phase of life, if we look back and we look at the Bible, so many stories in the Bible, they look like they had an ugly phase that they had to go through to be able to get to that victorious stage, that they were able to actually get their name in the Bible. The same thing in our lives. We will go through phases in our lives where you must stay committed to the end result. The Bible tells us that it's not about the ones that are willing to go through the things swiftly, but it's all about those that are willing to endure to the end. When you're going through this phase, at times it's going to be frustrating, at times it's going to be confusing, at times it's going to be scary, and you have to commit to going and sticking it through that ugly phase of your journey, or whatever the mission is at hand, because I guarantee you, even if it looks like you're failing, you'll fail forward. If it looks like this thing is quitting, you learn that lesson and continue to move forward and go towards that end result in your life. I was thinking about the other day when I was like, you know, I'm going into another phase in my journey, and it's going to look like the ugly phase, right, in some aspects, but I embrace the process. I'm at a point where I'm willing to embrace the process, because I know that at the end of the day, that vision that I have in my head of how it's going to turn out is what matters. If you are facing the ugly phase of your life right now, I want you to dig deep. I want you to breathe. I want you to just focus on the latter and not the present. A lot of times it's just like going through a race. And when we're going through a race, it's easy to stop. It's just like jogging on a treadmill. If you don't focus on your end mission, it's easy to give up. It's easy to stop. It's literally, you're going to stop quicker than you will if you were to literally just focus on that last phase of the end result coming into your life, because it's always going to be an ugly phase at some aspects of your journey that you must be committed to the end result of it all. So I wanted to come on today and just say, stick it out. Even if you're going through your current ugly phase of your journey, I guarantee you the butterfly could not become a butterfly unless it went through the caterpillar stage in order to be able to see all that beauty that we all see afterwards with the colors and the vibrancy and able to fly instead of just walking on land. And the same way in the spiritual realm with us, in order for us to be able to gain the capacity to be able to go over and go through so many situations, we must go through that ugly phase of this journey. So be encouraged. I just left a one-day event that I was on a panel, and the women were so excited to get their hands on the transformation journal. You know, when I created this journal, it was really to walk those through really figuring out who they are as a person, to get clear on their goals, their values, to be clear on exactly what they want out of this life. Because if you're not clear, you'll mistakenly allow a lot of time to slip by you, and you not allowing yourself to enjoy and maximize all the goodness that God has offered us and allowed us. But we must go through that ugly phase, right? It's just like that tearing down phase, when it looks like the Lord is stripping you from every single thing that you've known in order to put you in position for him to build upon a new foundation. You know, when the Bible speaks of you got to be new wineskin. He can't build the new on the old, because the capacity is not the same. The level of compression is not the same. The endurance is not the same. So allow God to do what he is doing in your life. I'm so grateful to have met each and every woman that I met today that purchased their transformation journal, and they were able to get free their transformation planner, because I want to be able to bless those, because that is a 2019 planner to be able to structure out this last quarter. You get that particular planner free when you purchase the transformation journal. But I want to be able to, hey Mish, woo woo woo, thank you for coming on in. I was talking to everybody about the ugly phase of life. And you know, us as hairstylists, you know, when we see people got to go through the big chop in order to get to, they know they really need to go natural, but they don't want to cut their hair off. But you must be willing to go through that ugly phase of life in order to get to that, you know, when they slanging their hair all in your chair now, and they like, oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. But in order to get the hair to its fullness and the healthiest potential and the smiles and all the compliments they getting now, they had to be willing to go through that ugly phase of the process. Hey Dominique, thank you for coming on in. So I was just grateful to come on in, and I was talking about, for those, all the women that purchased their clarity, creativity, and confidence journal today. They were so excited, and just to see, you know, that's the whole thing about this thing about life. The people that you are assigned to, know your greatness soon as they meet you. The people that you are assigned to, you don't have to prove and go through this long, big old drawn out explanation of who you, they see it instantly. The people that you are assigned to, when I tell you, those women were in position, they were like, I want what you have. I didn't have to convince them of anything. And I literally just spoke from the heart. And I know that my pain, my frustrations, everything that has gotten me to this point, I put it in this journal to be able to help other women be able to transform from the inside out and be able to fully live in their happiness and their peace and their abundance, and not worrying about lack anymore, and being able to connect with divine purpose so that they can add impact from their journeys and their lessons. So those that are coming on in the video, listen here, the transformation journals are online. It's www.nekiafoxx.com. They are available, and you will be getting a free transformation planner with that transformation journal. But once again, because I'm going to wrap this up, be willing to go through your ugly phase of life so that you can fully enjoy the capacity that God has for you in this next season of your life. So you can fully say, I deserve to be here, or I deserve exactly everything that I'm receiving in this hour. And knowing without a shadow of a doubt that you don't owe anybody anything, because you put in the work. You were willing to be vulnerable. You were willing to be stripped down, stripped away. You were willing to be isolated. You were willing to grow and grow growth normally comes with some painful stuff, some painful realization. But be willing, you guys. It's just like hair. It's just like weight loss. It's just like becoming healthy. In order for you to get to that that not being able to, being free to not breathing hard when you get out the car, you must follow a regimen, start working out, eating better. In order for your hair to be hanging all down your back, you must be willing to trim them ends, clip it off. And for some, it's the big chop. For some, it's like, I made a lot of poor decisions with my hair for a while and was doing whatever I wanted to do and wasn't consistent. I want to start over fresh. They go through that ugly phase, but if they stick it through, they'll get to that phase where every single place they go, people are like, I just love your hair, and da-da-da-da. But they have to be willing to go through that ugly phase. The same thing applies when, hey Betty Brown, the same thing applies when we're in relationships and when we got to go through those uncomfortable, ugly stages of being willing to stick it out through the miscommunication, through the growth spurts, and through all the different trials and tribulations that normally a lot of relationships must grow through in order to make them stronger, to have the bond that they have today. And when people see them out there like, oh my God, relationships goals, or I'm so grateful to witness your bond, but they went through a ugly phase of that particular journey to get to where they are today. So for those that are in the midst of, hey Teresa Rogers, blessings, beautiful, hello, listen, hey Sarah, hey, blessings to you. I was talking today about the ugly phase of life, and so many different aspects of our journey. We must go through an uncomfortable, ugly phase, just like the caterpillar has to go through the cocooning phase of their journey and go through the darkness. But in order to emerge out to that butterfly, to fly over situations and things, we must be willing to go through that uncomfortable, ugly phase. The same way with cutting of the dead hair that no longer serves us, is doing more damage than it is good. Blessings, love. We must be willing to go through that ugly phase of growing it back out, where you can't get your ponytail quite back right and you can't cover up this and that. You just got to let it breathe. I'm serious. I was thinking the other day, I was literally driving and I was like, oh my gosh, when I tell you, that's so true. The ugly phases in so many things when we think about it. When you're building a house and you got to, demo out the land and it looks like everybody's cutting away all the trees and it's rubbish all on the side of the road. And when they're cleaning out, when people are like, I'm doing spring cleaning, from the outside, look like you're moving out because it look like your whole home on the side of the road. But they're giving you a fresh start. They're clearing out all the things that no longer serve you. They're getting rid of all that old stuff. You must be willing to go through that ugly phase. I noticed the other day, hey, thank you so much for the hearts. I just left an event, and the women that purchased their transformation journal that was created to walk women through their transformation process of really getting to know who they are and what they stand for. And it sounds so cliche, and people like, I know who I am. Do you really? Like if you walked in a room and somebody said, what do you need? Could you clearly answer the question without hesitation? Could you really go in depth and do the big ask and say, listen here, I need this. I am able to do this. And, being clear on your gifting and the impact you add to the world, because it only takes those 1-minute conversations and interactions of us being clear on who we are and what we need and what we want, and being willing to have the confidence in ourselves, not to shrink down in certain environments, and being bold about it and going forth after it with no hesitation, and having that level of insight within yourself. I was a part of it's called the Confidence Institute. I was a part of the Confidence Institute back in 2000, and I believe it was 13, and with Marshawn Evans Daniels, and she talked about that whole leaping into that glory phase of your life. Everyone wants to get into the glory phase of life, but the glory phase of life requires you to leap on the unknown phase that you have to skip. It goes from one aspect, like being on, how you see a hill and then there's a dip and then the other hill. You literally have to take that risk and jump in the air and trust that you're going to make it to the other side. And that's the glory phase. That's the same way it is in our lives. We must go through those uncomfortable, ugly moments in order to experience what's on the other side. So I wanted to come in and just be a word of encouragement for those that are in the midst of getting connected to the best days of their lives. Listen, hone in to what is important and what matters. Keep the main thing the main thing. And you know what the main thing is? The main thing is you and the purpose that God has for you. If you keep the main thing, which is you and the person that God has, not the person, but the purpose that God has for you, I guarantee you the level of self-fulfillment, the level of impact, the level of love that's going to be coming in and pouring in, the level of just internal overflow that will be happening through that focus on keeping the main thing. It'll keep your why in place. So when you want to give up, you're like, why am I doing this? You're doing this because you know that you are needed. You're doing this because you know that your testimony is needed. You're doing this because you know that you're assigned to some people that you have never met yet that are waiting to encounter you. You're doing this because you're keeping the main thing, which is what? Being willing to endure to the end. Saying, Lord, I'm willing to be an obedient vessel to make a change on this earth in the ways that only you could have allowed me to. That's what it's all about, you guys. Be willing to go through that ugly phase. I'm so excited. Hey, Carter. I'm so excited. I'm less than 3 days away before I head off on a plane to Milwaukee to Mr. and Mrs. and Miss Black America pageant. I'm so excited. It's going to be so, like, the energy, I'm sure once we the energy is so high right now. We've really gotten to this point to be able to really connect and see everyone in person, to be joined with so many movers and shakers of the world of impact, one side by side on stages, and being able to really just allow God to show through us. It's an honor. It's such an honor. So you all, it's less than 3 days away from the Milwaukee pageant. Blessings, Sarah. Blessings. Blessing. You see, I'm out in the parking lot, and the gentleman was like, "Are you leaving?" I'm like, "No, I gotta finish. I have to do one more post. I have to do this before I leave, because when it's placed on your heart, we must be obedient." So, amen. So, literally go through your ugly phase of life, whatever that is. If it's in an uncomfortable season in your business, if it's on an uncomfortable season between your relationships or your marriages or your friendships, if it's through the uncomfortable seasons that you're literally like, I am transitioning into my new, or where your body is changing because you're losing weight, or whatever that ugly phase is for you. Understand that on the other side of that is every single thing that you know is to come, right? So I want to encourage you today, and for those that have not ordered their transformation journal yet, get your transformation journal. Right now, it comes with your free transformation planner. So this journal is designed to help women transform from the inside out. So many people ask me, well, how did I do it? I did it through powerful prayer and scriptures that shift my mindset. Because remember, the only thing that can come out of you is what's already in you. So that's why we must fill our vessel with nothing but goodness and speak life into our spirit, and be able to surround ourselves in an environment that is decluttered, so that we can have a level of clarity, and surround ourselves in an environment that speaks of our next instead of what we currently are, right? So that's why we feed ourselves the things in which we know are to come. So speak life into your journey, speak life into your current, and thrive off of everything that is building up within you, because when you need it, it will come forth like never before for you, on your behalf. So for those that are joining, hello Juliet Murphy, how are you doing? Blessings, blessings, blessings. So for those that are in the midst of their so-called ugly phase, trust me, I'm going into a next new phase of my life with a particular project of mine, and I know it's not going to be the most likely phase that I love, but I know the end result. So stay focused, Keep in mind to keep the main thing, which is you and the purpose that God has for you. Before you were even born, you had impact, you had literally greatness, and you had a major purpose that this earth needed to have just for you to be able to do to every person you encounter. So remember to keep the main thing. Never minimize your greatness. When the days are hard, go back to those good days. I was telling them the other day, keep it simple. When I work with my coaching clients, I tell them this: think back on any time in your life that you had just you felt so good. Think back on that time when you just felt so good. Go back and think about what did you do during that season, or what did you do on that 24 hours? Were you meditating? Were you eating good? Were you exercising? Were you taking care of yourself? Were you calling loved ones? What were you doing? Were you giving? What were you doing that made you feel so good? So when you have those moments that don't feel as good, go back to what makes you feel good. So go back to just writing down those days and the things in which you did that made you feel good, and so you can repeat on the days that you don't feel good. That'll help shift your atmosphere. Remember, it's shift or be shifted. Shift or be shifted. Once again, it's shift or be shifted. And remember, we are standing on the solid foundation of Christ. And remember, he tells us to come to him in a time of need, and he will always give us what we need. So put every single thing in place by moving one step at a time. Don't just overdo it. Move one step at a time towards inner healing, so you can allow your external glory and the external abundance to be able to come forth. So remember, focus on the internal. Keep the main thing, which is you and the purpose that God has for you outside of the titles. Remember, outside of the titles, outside of the money, outside of the things, you were created for greatness, and God wants you to just do it real simple. Keep the main thing, which is you. And you are him, and he is you. So which is you and the purpose that he has for you. Because it's individuals that are waiting on your testimony. They are waiting to meet you. They're waiting to meet you at the gas station. They're waiting to meet you at your Publix. They're waiting to meet you when you literally are walking down the park. They're waiting to meet you at the next nursing home when you are just visiting and seeing and giving your time to the elderly. They're waiting to see you at the Girls and Boys Club. They're waiting to see you. They're waiting to meet you. They need to see and witness your victory. Remember, those situations are only designed to be able to allow others to be a witness to your victories, right? They need your victory. So allow your light to shine. Heal daily, one step at a time. Don't take on too much. Focus on keeping the main thing. So a lot of times we're like, oh, I need to do this, I need to pay this. No, keep the main thing, because that's what you can control, which is how you allow yourself to feel regardless and despite anything that's going on in your life. I remember when I was going through the toughest seasons of my life, I had no money. I literally was stripped. All my stuff was in storage. I was stripped down to literally very minimum. I moved back with less than a few dollars. My credit was horrible because I had went through bankruptcy, foreclosure. But let me tell you how I said I'm going to make what's considered my worst moments my best moments, right? And I'm going to learn how to enjoy my time, because my time is free to me and that costs me nothing. So let me enjoy the things in which I was so busy to do and could not enjoy. Let me enjoy sitting at the park. Let me enjoy reading a book. Let me enjoy eating healthier. Let me enjoy an hour walk. Let me enjoy some of the simple things in life that give me peace, that make me happy. Let me enjoy going to visit some elderly family members that I haven't seen in years. Let me enjoy my family and my nieces and nephews. Those are all the things that I can control during that season. And guess what? Those are the things that made me happy. So then when the money came again, you are still able to remember what made you happy, so that you're not focusing on the other things, because life is a continuous cycle of chances to make it better and better. You will never lose or leave anything that, like, he will literally never strip anything away from you that you will not get back tenfold. So trust and believe the process. Go through that ugly phase. Know that God is preparing you to have full capacity to maximize your destiny, right? So you guys, I hope that I was able to be of encouragement to somebody today on this smiling, yay, Saturday. Sunday is tomorrow, right? But that's how this week has been going. I feel like the time is just like woo, woo, woo. But enjoy your day. Keep the main thing, which is you, and be able to allow your light to shine. Because remember, in any dark situation, if you just face it head on, and if you just endure, you will then realize that you were the light the whole time. You are the light. Remember, you are the light to shine bright in any circumstance. So sometimes we like, oh, I just wish this would change. No, if you open your eyes, honey, you'll see that you had the power the whole time. You didn't need anything. You had it. You had it the whole time. So everything that we're looking for is really inside of us. Every single thing. Our abundance, our peace, our comfort, the wealth, the money. Because remember, the more and more we are filling our cup up externally, the more we get to experience externally. So your wealth is inside of you. Pull it out. Your peace is inside of you. Pull it out. Your joy is inside of you. Pull it out. The love that you've been searching for is inside of you. Pull it out. Listen, every single thing, he gave us like this little basket, and he told us to go through all these situations in life to put all this goodness in the basket, so that when we come to the feast, we literally have so much to offer. So get all the goodness that God has already inside of you. Get it prepared to be able to share with the world, right? Remember, there's no lack in this thing. There is no lack in this thing. Remember, repeat after me. There is no lack. There is nothing lacking, nothing missing. Everything that I desire desires me. Remember, blessings for Shonda, blessings Erica Johnson. Remember, there is no lack. There's no lack of love. There's no lack of peace. He says, I will give you the peace that surpasses all understanding. There is no lack of comfort. Every single thing you need in your most trying times, you call on the Lord and he'll give you instantaneously what you need. You ask him and he shall deliver it instantaneously, whatever you need. Just be willing to do whatever he's telling and forcing you to do in this. There is no lack. Every single thing that you desire desires you. Every single thing that's happening is happening on your behalf. Every single obstacle is working out on you. It's giving you favor. Remember, you are connected to extraordinary favor. Repeat after me. I am connected to extraordinary favor. I am connected to extraordinary favor. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I am just living in overflow and abundance of peace, of joy, of happiness. You have the power to shift your atmosphere. You have the power. Remember, what you put out has to come back. He says his word will never come back void. So tell him what he told you. If I am a royal priesthood, I am of royalty. I must live it through what I choose to entertain, what I choose to speak upon, how I choose to walk, how I choose to talk, how I choose to. That's why we are connected to nothing but overflow. And you know where that overflow is? It's right here in our heart space. So when we're feeling some type of ways, I was listening to something the other day and it changed my life and my perspective. And I know it's going to change that area of my mindset. When you are feeling anxious, when you are feeling, yes, I am connected to extraordinary favor. Extraordinary favor. I am connected to extraordinary favor. Everything that I desire desires me. Everything that I desire desires me. Meaning that we no longer chase the things that are running from us. We no longer act as though anything is ever leaving us that's supposed to be with us. We are no longer acting as though we need what we already have. I don't care what it is. I'm telling you from sheer experience. I go through some serious stuff, and I choose it. Every day is not a good day, but I go back on these same principles. That's why I created this journal, because when I got clear on my cycle, whatever my cycle, everyone has a cycle of things. Everyone has what is your one good day, and what that feels like and what that looks like. What is the vision of that woman in your head when you close your eyes? What does she look like? What does she smell like? How is her hair? What color is her lips? You want to get so crystal clear of the vision of the woman that you know God has in your head, that you are to become. Whatever that vision is, it's our responsibility to bring her to life. Because in that element is when we are able to access every single thing we've been chasing for a very long time. And remember, he packaged it up. We normally go looking and searching everywhere else but inside of our own selves. We go like, oh, I need another job, or oh, I need to do more of this, or if I do this, this will happen. No, you just need to focus on keeping the main thing, which is you and God's purpose that he has for you. So if we keep the main thing, we allow ourselves to continuously heal, because it's from glory to glory. It's so many phases of our healing that he reveals for us. And a lot of times it's upsetting because we thought we were done with a lot of things. If we use it as an opportunity to grow some more, to heal some more, we'll get what he's trying to give us through that situation, because he's the best rewarder. If you're willing to go through that process, I'm telling you, he's the best rewarder of your time, of the money that you had to invest, of the efforts that you had to give, of the sacrificing of self that you thought you were doing, killing the ego, the pride, being willing to be stripped away, whatever those circumstances is that God needs to do to get you to where he wants to take you, so that you literally see what he's trying to show you, because he's always trying to show us something. Sometimes we just have to slow it all the way down and go back to the basics. Let's take this thing back to the basics. We want to be so extra, but most times all we need to do is keep the main thing. What makes me happy? What am I missing right now that I literally need to find within myself? So that abundance, that peace, that joy, all of that is in yourself. That love. So many times we're giving it out to so many people when our spirit is saying, I need you. I need you right now. I need you to love on me. I need you to make me feel safe. I need you to make me feel protected. I need you to make me feel a level of comfort. We're looking for others to do it when we need to do it for ourselves, so we can start believing ourselves, so we can start not jeopardizing things and self-sabotaging things. The other day I was literally speaking on self-sabotage and how there's cycles of getting in our own way. When we start getting anxiety, and when we start feeling unease, normally we think we need to do something. We're like, we want to go into action with, let me do this or do that. And that just makes the situation worse. When we're like, oh, if I do this, this is going to help that. Or if I just do this, no, none of that is going to help the situation. That anxiety is really your future self telling you to calm down. It's a lot that you've already accomplished. It's already taken place. Your future self that's on the other side of where you currently are, that's already in the victory phase, that is still coinciding with our current, is saying, listen here, don't do that. Don't do what you normally do. Just sit right here in it and get your peace. Don't try to fix anything. It's nothing, it's like, oh, if I just do this, then this will happen. Or if I just get this, then that will happen. And then you'll notice it'll be something else. And then something else, because what we really needed was to learn how to gain peace through it all. And it's a process. It's a process of continuously adjusting our minds and continuously gaining capacity to be able to see things in a different way. It's a process of, it's just like a muscle. When you're going to the gym, you lifting weights. When you first start off, you might be at 10 pounds. But then next thing you know, you at 20, 25. You're now gaining another level of capacity to be able to lift even more. That's the same way with our faith. So go through the process. Understand that if you keep the main thing, which is your peace, creates power. Your lessons give you leverage. Your love for yourself is nurturing to your soul. Once again, self-love. The love to yourself is nurturing to your soul. And your soul might be on a place of saying, listen here, I need you to comfort me right now and to show me that you're in it to win it with me. I need you to stick this thing on out, and I need you to see that I'm trying to give you access to another level of love internally that we have. You know, it's like the inside of our spirits are like, hey, you're forgetting about me. We're in here trying to work for you. We have all this stored up over here. You're going out here. You have the whole, you know, I was given an example the other day. I was like, listen, if we really knew, if I could tell my younger self something, it would have been that, listen here, baby girl, you're trying to give everything everywhere else but you. If you understood, I'm talking to my younger self, that little girl that felt like she was not enough, that felt like she was never seen. They never let me speak. They just literally made me feel voiceless and like as I didn't matter. That little girl felt as though she just was not valued, she was not important, she was not priority. So it allowed me to grow up to be a woman that has so many triggers of self-rejection and not feeling like I was worth it, and not being able to really hone on to my true power, right? And when I got to the place in myself that I finally understood that I am connected to no lack, and God is my storehouse, and everything is stored in my heart, and if I'm willing to allow him to heal me, then it's just like a cupboard that never runs empty. So when the enemy comes to offer me all these little crumbs, I'm like, oh no, I already got everything over here. I don't need any of that you're trying to give me, which is frustration, which is pain, which is confusion, which is anxiety, which is depression. I don't want any of that. I actually got all this joy over here that keeps on multiplying, all this peace over here that keeps on multiplying, all this love over here that keeps on multiplying, because he says once you drink of my cup you will never thirst again, right? So I got all this over here. I don't need what you have to offer me. So then we stop settling for the things that which only came to minimize us and to minimize what we could even receive from the Lord, because then it decreases our access to that heaven on earth. It decreases our access. It creates barriers for us to get to what the kingdom has allowed us to have access to, because we are of a royal priesthood. We were born royalty. We were born royalty. That's right. We feel like seriously, and then we're always like a reject or a counterfeit, and then we're always overcompensating. We're always attracting takers. We're always then attracting people that never see our greatness. We're always attracting people that we feel like, well, how much else do I have to do for you just to say I'm a good little girl or I'm a good woman? What else do I have to prove for you to acknowledge me? So then we just continue this perpetual cycle of habits and poor coping skills that don't allow us to really be able to see our own selves, right? Remember, a flower, all a flower has to do is just get rooted. And what I mean by rooted, just to get rooted in Christ. And when we get rooted in the Lord, guess what? A flower does not ask for sun. A flower does not ask for water. The Lord provides every single thing that flower needs to flourish. It does not beg for oxygen. Everything that flower needs is provided. That's the same way we must go through this journey. We don't have to beg for the things in which God is going to provide for us. If we're not currently seeing, you just stay rooted in Him, and I guarantee you, He will continue to nurture you. He will continue to water your grass. He will continue to keep you literally in a fertile foundation. He'll allow you to be in places that you will just grow out of concrete sometimes. He will put you in places where you literally will not have to, He'll give you the shade. He gives you every single thing. Thank you. He gives you every single thing that you need. So let's just be like the flower and just be sometimes. So many times we're trying to do something when we just need to be. Just be. Just be you. Whatever that is, just be you. Just be you and get rooted in him and allow him to start fueling you up, start nurturing and start fortifying your spirit like never before. Just get to a place of peace and keep that thing simple. And I guarantee whatever the situation was or whatever you're currently going through, it's next thing you know, it's over. I guarantee you whatever blessings from Mount Gandhi, I guarantee you whatever those things and those distractions were that were trying to keep you from looking at all that he had on the other side for you and to keep you disconnected from all that good stuff that he had, I guarantee you no longer see that in your review. It's like a whole nother level of vision. Just like these glasses that, if I don't wear my glasses, I see something totally different. But when I wear my glasses, I see 20/20. And that's the same way God allows us to wear another lens that allows us to see so many things that without him, just think of him as if he's my glasses. Without him, it looks blurry. It looks fuzzy. If the Lord is my glasses that allows me to see 20/20 things so clear. Without him, I don't drive because I can't see. It's dangerous. It's blurry. I'm feeling uncomfortable. It's an unease. So that's why I get what? I get him. I get the glasses so I can see things so clear. Let's allow the Lord to get in front of us so that we can see things, especially moving into 2020, so clear that we won't even doubt the things in which we encounter because he's already shown us it so crystal clear. He's already, blessings Martinez, blessings Adrian, blessings, miss you sister. Listen, he's already given us the ability to see the things in which was so fuzzy for us before. He's already given us the ability to be able to see over and through some things. He's given us the discernment to be able to know what it, even when we can't see it, he gives us discernment. So we just know without a shadow of a doubt that is X, Y, and Z. Allow the Lord to do what only he's doing in this season, you guys. We are in the less than 90 days away from a decade ending. The harvest season is at hand. So that means that you are the harvest that the world is looking for. Understand that this greatness and all this goodness that he's packaged up in you will be used for his goodness. He's going to reward you for sticking it all the way through. So be willing to go through the ugly phase. Be willing to do, and I guarantee you he will bless your life. So you guys, before I head on out, for those that are in transformation and needing transformation, order your transformation journal at www.nekiafoxx.com. So Nekia Foxx.com, Foxx.com. So NekiaFoxx.com. Currently, if you order your transformation journal, you will be able to get the transformation planner for free, right? For free, $25 value. I'm literally saying, here you go. Blessings to you for being able to invest in yourself. So for those that are in this season and wanting that next level, we have so many, everything around us is really working to help us, and it's on our side. Blessings, Pee-wee. Hey, Jennifer. Hello, Auntie. How you doing? Thank you so much for the support, you guys. So God bless you. Make sure you stick out the ugly phase of the seasons of your lives, through every kind of relationship, through every kind of business, the ugly phase, through every kind of growth process. If you're growing out your hair or losing weight, everything has a phase that you must be willing to endure to be able to access the other side. So stick it out, you guys. Have a great Saturday, smiling Saturday. Hey, Pee-wee. Hey, Auntie. Blessings to you. For those that are watching the replay, I have hundreds, I'm sure, so many videos on YouTube. You can go to Nekia Foxx on YouTube and access so many different videos to be able to encourage you. Thank you so much, Sarah. You're able to access so many of the videos of words of encouragement that I have. I'm trying to make access to just be motivation to, because we're all in this together at the end of the day. If you do better, I do better. When I do better, you do better. So we're all in this thing together. We're all connected at the end of the day. So literally, God bless you. Be encouraged and keep the main thing, which is you and the purpose that God has for you. God bless you.